What's this? Volume? I don't know. It look like it's not working. Hold on. My volume is not going up. I hope y'all can hear me. Okay, if y'all can't, somebody say something as I start talking. Somebody gonna be like, I can't hear you. Then I know we might need to stop and have to start it over. I don't know. But I think y'all can hear me. It's weird. It's never happened. Okay, I'm gonna just start like y'all can hear me. All right, top of the day, beautiful people. Top of the day. It is Saturday, day 196. It is July the 11th, 2020, and we are reading Jeremiah 36, 37. I'm sorry, no, 37, 38, and 39. All right, y'all. Today, yep, okay. Mark this little spot right here, something I was just looking at real quick. Okay, you can hear me. Thank you, Tiffany. Sawubona. Okay. All right, so let's get started. Jeremiah chapter 37. And King Zedekiah, the son of Josiah, reigned instead of Coniah, the son of Jehoiakim, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, made king in the land of Judah. Neither he nor his servants nor the people of the land did hearken unto the words of Yahuwah, which he spake by the prophet Jeremiah. And Zedekiah, the king of Jehukal, the son of Shelemiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Messiah, the priest, to the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Pray now unto Yahuwah our God for us. Now Jeremiah came in and went out among the people, for they had not put him into prison. Then Pharaoh's army was come forth out of Egypt. And when the Chaldeans that besieged Jerusalem heard the tidings of them, they departed from Jerusalem. Then came the word of Yahuwah unto the prophet Jeremiah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, the God of Israel. Thus shall ye say to the king of Judah, that sent you unto me to inquire of me, Behold, Pharaoh's army, which is come forth to help you, shall return to Egypt into their own land. And the Chaldeans shall come again and fight against this city and take it and burn it with fire. Thus saith Yahuwah, Deceive not yourselves, saying, The Chaldeans shall surely depart from us, for they shall not depart. For though ye had smitten the whole army of the Chaldeans that fight against you, and there remain but wounded men among them, yet should they rise up every man in his tent and burn this city with fire. And it came to pass that when the army of the Chaldeans was broken up from Jerusalem for fear of Pharaoh's army, then Jeremiah went forth out of Jerusalem to go into the land of Benjamin to separate himself thence in the midst of the people. And when he was at the gate of Benjamin, a captain of the ward was there, whose name was Urijah, the son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah. And he took Jeremiah the prophet, saying, Thou fallest away to the Chaldeans. Then said Jeremiah, It is false. What he pretty much said, he said, You betrayed us, and you in cahoots with the Chaldeans. He said, No, I haven't. He said, That's a lie. That's false. Then said Jeremiah, It is false. I fall not away to the Chaldeans. But he hearkened not to him. So Urijah took Jeremiah and brought him into the princes. Wherefore the princes were wroth with Jeremiah and smote him and put him in prison in the house of Jonathan the scribe, for they had made that the prison. When Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, when Jeremiah was entered into the dungeon and into the cabins, and Jeremiah had remained there many days, then Zedekiah the king sent and took him out, and the king asked him secretly in his house and said, Is there any word from Yahuwah? And Jeremiah said, There is. For he said, Thou shalt be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon. He said, Bro, ain't nothing changed. The king of Babylon is still coming to take you. Like Zedekiah thought. He said, Hey, listen, Jeremiah, did y'all say anything else? He said, Yeah, he did. He said, The king of Babylon is coming, and you're gonna be taken. Like I can imagine King Zedekiah's face, like you know how you see movies and somebody all of a sudden gets scared because they heard something, they saw something, and it's like all the blood drained out of their face. That's probably what King Zedekiah's face looked like when Jeremiah said, Yeah, the king of Babylon is still coming, and he coming to take you in this entire city. Moreover, Jeremiah said unto King Zedekiah, What have I offended against thee, or against thy servants, or against this people, that ye put me in prison? Yeah, he did. He had a real rough time. For those of y'all that can't read Tiffany's comments, she said Jeremiah had a rough time with the people calling him a liar. Yeah, because their hearts were wicked. They didn't want to do what was right. They I don't know. They did a whole lot of deflecting and stuff, and they just didn't want to do what was right. You know, when Jeremiah was pretty much just relaying the message what Yah was saying, because they couldn't hear, because they weren't doing what was right, you know. So Jeremiah is the easiest target because he's there in human flesh. They can touch him, you know. So he caught everything. Verse 18, moreover, Jeremiah said unto King Zedekiah, what have I offended against thee, or against thy servants, or against this people, that ye have put me in prison? Where are now your prophets which prophesied unto you, saying, now the king of Babylon shall not come against you, nor against this land? Therefore hear now, I pray thee, O my lord the king, let my supplication, I pray thee, be accepted before thee, that thou cause me not to return to the house of Jonathan the scribe, lest I die there. Then Zedekiah the king commanded that they should commit Jeremiah into the court of the prison, and that they should give him a daily piece of bread out of the baker's street, until the bread in the city was spent. Thus said Jeremiah, remain in the court of the prison. Oh my gosh. And this is totally off subject, but when he said bread, it just sent me back to last night when I was reading this article about this woman. Oh my gosh, y'all so disgusting. Y'all gotta go read the article. Like, every few seconds, I was saying, this nasty woman. I said, like, heifer. But I couldn't believe what she was doing. She was baking bread, and one of her ingredients to her bread, I'm like, why is this woman still alive? Why is she still living? How many people has she poisoned with this disgusting recipe? She makes French bread, and one of her ingredients is urine. She collects the urine from a woman's bathroom. Now get this. Now I don't even know why she said this, but it's like she took it and she said she sterilizes. I'm like, well, first of all, it's not even meant for human consumption. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. It's horrible, 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 horrible. Shabbat shalom, Stephen. Shabbat shalom. All right, y'all. Let me keep reading. I just got my blood started boiling just a little bit. But I posted that article if y'all didn't read it, so go read that. But that had nothing to do with today's reading, but I was reminded of it when it started talking about giving Jeremiah a daily piece of bread. All right, Jeremiah chapter 38. Then Shephatiah the son of Matan, and Gedaliah the son of Pashur, and Jucal the son of Shelemiah, and Pashur the son of Malchiah, heard the words that Jeremiah had spoken unto all the people, saying, thus saith Yahuwah, he that remaineth in this city shall die by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. But he that goeth forth to the Chaldeans shall live, for he shall save his life for a prey, and shall live. Remember I told y'all that we talked about this the other day. He said those that try and get away and that don't submit to the king, you know, he said y'all gonna end up in captivity. I mean, y'all going into captivity anyway, but hard captivity. Some of you gonna die by the sword, some of you gonna die by famine. He said, but if you submit to him, he will allow some of you to stay in this land, and he'll let you till it, you know, and you'll live peaceably, you know. But those of y'all that kick up against him and don't follow the command, y'all are in for some hard times. Thus saith Yahuwah, this city shall surely be given into the hand of the king of Babylon's army, which shall take it. Therefore the princess said unto the king, we beseech thee, let this man be put to death, for thus he has weakened the hands of the men of war that remain in this city, and the hands of all the people, in speaking such words unto them. For this man seeketh not the welfare of this people, but the hurt. Then Zedekiah the king said, behold, he is in your hand, for the king is not he. Behold, he is in your hand, for the king is not he that can do anything against you. Then they took Jeremiah and cast him into the dungeon of Malchiah the son of Hamelech, that was in the court of the prison, and they let down Jeremiah with cords. And in the dungeon there was no water but mire, so Jeremiah sunk in the mire. Now when Abimelech the Ethiopian, one of the eunuchs which was in the king's house, heard that they had put Jeremiah in the dungeon, the king then sitting in the gate of Benjamin, Ebed-melech went forth out of the king's house and spake to the king, saying, My lord the king, these men have done evil in all that they have done to Jeremiah the prophet, whom they have cast into the dungeon, for he is like to die for hunger in the place where he is, for there is no bread in the city. Then the king commanded Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, saying, Take from thence 30 men with thee, and take up Jeremiah the prophet out of the dungeon before he die. So Ebed-melech took the men with him, and went into the house of the king under the treasury, and took thence old cast clouts and old rotten rags, and let them down by cords into the dungeon to Jeremiah. And Ebed-melech the Ethiopian said unto Jeremiah, Put now these old cast clouts and rotten rags under thine armholes under the cords. And Jeremiah did so. So they drew up Jeremiah with cords, and took him up out of the dungeon, and Jeremiah remained in the court of the prison. Then Zedekiah the king sent and took Jeremiah the prophet unto him into the third entry that is in the house of Yahuwah. And the king said unto Jeremiah, I will ask thee a thing, hide nothing from me. I'm like, what, king? I'll be like, yes, sir. He know we about to ask him. I will ask thee a thing, hide nothing from me. Then Jeremiah said unto Zedekiah, If I declare it unto thee, wilt thou not surely put me to death? And if I give thee counsel, wilt thou not hearken unto me? So Zedekiah the king swore secretly unto Jeremiah, saying, As Yahuwah liveth that made us this soul, I will not put thee to death, neither will I give thee into the hand of these men that seek thy life. I mean, all this time that King Zedekiah did, running back and forth to Jeremiah, like, listen, did y'all say something else? Like, you could have just started living right, bro. You could have told the people to start living right. Y'all could have cast off all these false gods and everything, and y'all really could have started living and keeping y'all's commands, but you want to keep, y'all think he gonna change his mind, and y'all haven't changed your ways. Like, bruh, you headed towards the sword. Bruh. Then said Jeremiah unto Zedekiah, Thus saith Yahuwah, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, If thou wilt surely go forth unto the king of Babylon's princes, then thy soul shall live, and this city shall not be burned with fire, and thou shalt live in thine house. But if thou wilt not go forth to the king of Babylon's princes, then this city shall be given into the hand of the Chaldeans, and they shall burn it with fire, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand. And Zedekiah the king said unto Jeremiah, I am afraid of the Jews that are fallen to the Chaldeans, the ones who they defected to the enemy's camp. He said, I am afraid of the Jews that are fallen to the Chaldeans, lest they deliver me into their hand, and they mock me. But Jeremiah said, They shall not deliver thee. Obey, I beseech thee, the voice of Yahuwah, which I speak unto thee, so it shall be well unto thee, and thy soul shall live. But if thou refuse to go forth, this is the word that Yahuwah hath showed me. And behold, all the women that are left in the king of Judah's house shall be brought forth to the king. Who is that? I ain't gonna say nothing because I know y'all hear that. And behold, all the women that are left in the king of Judah's house shall be brought forth. Hey. Shall be brought forth to the king of Babylon's princes, and whose women shall say, Thy friends have set thee on and have prevailed against thee. Thy feet are sunk in the mire, and they are turned away back. So they shall bring out all thy wives and all thy children to the Chaldeans, and thou shalt not escape out of their hand, but shalt be taken by the hand of the king of Babylon, and thou shalt cause this city to be burned with fire. Then said Zedekiah unto Jeremiah, Let no man know of these words, and thou shalt not die. But if the princes hear that I have talked with thee, and they come unto thee, and say unto thee, Declare now unto us what thou hast said unto the king, hide it not from us, and we will not put thee to death. Also what the king has said unto thee. Then thou shalt say unto them, he said, listen, if they come asking you what we talked about, this is what you need to say, Jeremiah, and you keep your life. Then thou shalt say unto them, I presented my supplication before the king that he would not cast me to return to Jonathan's house to die there. Then came all the princes unto Jeremiah and asked him, and he told them according to all these words that the king had commanded. So they left off speaking with him, for the matter was not perceived. So Jeremiah abode in the court of the prison until the day Jerusalem was taken, and he was there when Jerusalem was taken. Apparently, they did not hearken to the words of Yah. All right, y'all. Last chapter for today, Jeremiah chapter 39. In the 9th year of Zedekiah, king of Judah, in the 10th month, came Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, and all his army against Jerusalem, and they besieged it. And in the 11th year of Zedekiah, in the 4th month, the 9th day of the month, the city was broken up. And all the princes of the king of Babylon came in and sat in the middle gate, even Nergal-Sharezer, Samgar-Nebo, Sarsakim, Rabsaris, Nergal, Sharezer, Rabmag, with all the residue of the princes of the king of Babylon. And wait a minute, sorry, I'm almost done. And it came to pass that when Zedekiah, the king of Judah, saw them and all the men of war, then they fled and went forth out of the city by night by the way of the king's garden and by the gate betwixt the two walls, and he went out of the way of the plain. But the Chaldeans' army pursued after them, and overtook Zedekiah in the plains of Jericho. And when they had taken him, they brought him up to Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to Riblah, in the land of Hamath, where he gave judgment upon him. Then the king of Babylon slew the sons of Zedekiah in Riblah before his eyes. Also the king of Babylon slew all the nobles of Judah. Moreover, apparently all of them was trying to get away. They was fighting. They were not submitting. I get it. You gonna fight for it, but if y'all had just obeyed, it was easier just to obey the voice of Yah and have to go through all of this. Now you watch all your sons die, and all your nobles, all the men under you that trusted you. Now you watch all of them die because y'all refused to obey the word of Yah, and just straighten yourselves up. Moreover, he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him with chains. And after you watch them die, he put your eyes out like he take your eyeballs. You can no longer see. The last thing you saw was your sons and your men who trusted you die. Moreover, he put out Zedekiah's eyes and bound him with chains to carry him to Babylon. And the Chaldeans burned the king's house and all the houses of the people with fire and break down the walls of Jerusalem. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carried away captive into Babylon the remnant of the people that remained in the city, and those that fell away, that fell to him with the rest of the people that remained. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left the poor of the people, which had nothing, in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. Apparently, they was like, look, what you want us to do? We like, they ain't had nothing. It's like, we already the worst off. What you want us to do? So he let them stay. I read that again. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left the poor of the people, which had nothing, in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. Look, they became rich in one day. Like, he gave them, like, now, you had nothing before. Because you had, it shouldn't have been that way. There should not have been any poor among them, according to Yahuwah's law. Like, we're to care for one another, right? But, I'll just read that again. Y'all get it. This is really self-explanatory. Verse 10. But Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, left of the poor of the people, which had nothing, in the land of Judah, and gave them vineyards and fields at the same time. But Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, gave charge concerning Jeremiah to Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, saying, Take him and look well to him, and do no harm, but do unto him even as he shall say unto thee. If the king of Babylon comes and he knows that Jeremiah is a true prophet of Yah, he said, listen, whatever you do, do not harm that man. Like, you got the most wicked king on the earth that would dare not touch Jeremiah and tell his men, you look after him, you look and see that all the affairs concerning him go well. But Yahuwah's own people, the king in charge, and his nobles and princes and his own people wanted to kill him. Bruh, that says a whole lot. That says a whole lot. I'll read verse 11 again. Now Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, gave charge concerning Jeremiah to Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, saying, Take him and look well to him, and do him no harm, but do unto him even as he shall say unto thee. So Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, sent, and Nebuzaradan, Rabsaris, and Nergal, Sharezer, Rabmag, and all the king of Babylon's princes. Even they sent and took Jeremiah out of the court of the prison, and committed him unto Gedaliah the son of Ahikam the son of Shaphan, that he should carry him home. So he dwelt among the people. Yeah, I know, right, Tiffany? And for those of you who on YouTube who can't read her comment, she said, your enemy treated you better than your family. Shaking my head. Yeah, that's crazy. But it happens. Like, we still see that happening today sometimes, And it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. And it's like, Jeremiah had nothing but love to them. He constantly warned them and was faithful with giving them the word of what Yahuwah said. But they didn't like the word. They wanted to continue doing what they were doing. Jeremiah said, listen, if y'all just straighten up, Yahuwah said that he would relent from all the judgment that he was bringing. Just like mom and dad say, if you don't stop your foot, the mom and daddy, they give you a time of repentance, a time to straighten up. You get a couple warnings. Listen, don't do that, But when they know you purposely are doing what they told you not to do, and you have the understanding and a comprehension, and you choose to continue doing what's wrong, then judgment must come. And if judgment doesn't come, you're going to continue on in your foolishness thinking it's okay. Oh, mom and daddy let me get away with it. But they warn you first. They don't just haul off and beat the crap out of you. Hopefully you don't beat the crap out of your kids. That's just a term. They don't just unless you're old enough, then you make swift judgment real quick. But like as you're growing, you discipline the different age groups differently. Like there is a certain level of escalation that you use with the younger than you do with the older, because the older should know better, unless it's something new that that they don't know, or there's a learning impediment somewhere. But you as a parent should know that about your child, right? But he constantly, we know they ain't got no more excuse. We've been reading from Genesis all the way through. They've been acting a fool. And Jeremiah has been nothing but faithful to them, trying to save them. And then they just, Jeremiah, shut up. We don't want to hear nothing you got to say. Matter of fact, you were lying to us. Like their hearts were so hard, and they're, y'all get it. I don't really have to say anymore. But anyway, like you said, Tiffany, the enemy treated him better than his own family. And he was trying to do nothing but save his family for the coming destruction, So, but it's wild. Okay, I read 14 again, Jeremiah chapter 39. Even they sent and took Jeremiah out of the court of the prison, and committed him unto Gedaliah, the son of Ahikam, the son of Shaphan, that he should carry him home. So he dwelt among the people. Now the word of Yahuwah came unto Jerusalem while he was shut up in the court of the prison, saying, Go and speak to Ebed-melech the Ethiopian, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, the God of Israel. Behold, I will bring my words upon this city for evil and not for good, and they shall be accomplished in that day before thee. But I will deliver thee in that day, saith Yahuwah, and thou shalt not be given into the hand of the men whom thou art afraid. For I will surely deliver thee, and thou shalt not fall by the sword, but thy life shall be a prey unto thee, because thou hast put thy trust in me, saith Yahuwah. This was the guy, the Ethiopian dude, that went and let the captain of the guard know. Was it the captain of the guard? He went and told the king, but the captain of the guard, I'm sorry. But anyway, he went and told that they had let Jeremiah down into the dungeon, and that he would die down there. So for that, Yah saved this man's life, because, and he called Yahuwah called it being faithful unto him. Not that he saved Jeremiah's life, but he did save Jeremiah's life in that process. But Yah accounted that as righteousness unto him for being obedient to Yah himself by saving Jeremiah. So he said, you're going to get to keep your life when they come. I'm like, bruh. All right, y'all. But that is our reading for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. That was Jeremiah 37, 38, and 39. It is day 196. It's Saturday, July the 11th, 2020. Let's go ahead and do the blessing, which is found where? Y'all know it. Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Whose name? Yahuwah's name. Nobody's name but Yahuwah's name. And he said, when my name is placed upon them, I myself will come and bless them. All right, beautiful people, I love you, and I will see you bright and early Monday morning, 7:15 a.m. Boo!